right, welcome friends. We are going to get into a yin plus pranayama practice to channel Cancer season's ability to bring us home to ourselves through what we feel in our bodies and address the way in which we resist feeling. I'm going to do this video a little differently than I have in the past because I lost a loved one near and dear, and I'm about to cry at every second of the day, and I don't want to burst into tears over and over and over again here while making this video for you. So I'm going to set up each pose. I'm going to set up each segment and then go right into the next segment. So I'll tell you to hit pause and then a timer for yourself to stay there, whether it's for the breathing or for each pose. With yin, let's get into a little disclaimer here. Yin is about sitting still, sitting in the moment, sitting in the body with its sensations, sitting in the thought that comes with that. So it's a perfect match for Cancer season, but it's also very challenging if you're an on-the-go, busy type of person like most of us are. If you're an air sign, then you have even more fire, even more fuel to wanting fast-paced things. That's me. If you're a fire sign, maybe it's hard as well because you want to be active and fiery. If you're a water sign, earth sign, you might kind of like it, but anyway, tangent there. You might need some props. I'm using a chair because I don't have blocks and a bolster. They didn't make it to North Carolina with me. So you can use a chair also, or if you have 2 blocks and a bolster, you can make a table, which might feel a little bit more supportive for the shape that you're sitting in. I also have a meditation cushion, which I like to sit on, but also I'm going to use that in one of the later poses that you can use a block instead, unless you want to use a meditation cushion as well. It's just softer than a block might be. So those are the props that I'm going to be cueing to use, but if you feel the need to support yourself in these poses with more props than I have, absolutely use the bolster in a way that supports you in a fold or supporting your elbows, your forehead, anything. So grab all of that stuff that you might need, 2 blocks, a bolster, blankets, and or a chair like me, and let's get into it. So let's start sitting comfortably and just start to feel ourselves come to the mat and our layers come together. So pop up the hips so that the knees are either equal height to the hips or lower, hitting the ground. And then see if you can balance the weight of your sit bones equally, right to left. Inward spiral the thighs to help tilt the pelvis forward in a neutral anterior tilt. Right now, posteriorly scoop under, notice the collapse and the rounding, but that neutral rolled forward, uprights the spine, and everything is more supported to then expand. The breath, the ribs, the connection the mental energy has in our physical body, and the energy that's all intertwined. Let's think of the breath today, as I do every day, as the language the mind and the body speak to each other in. So as you find comfort in your seat, take a few shoulder rolls. Before we even think about feeling the breath, let's get the body really set both directions. And how much stress is in your neck and shoulders? How heavy is the world that you're holding up? And then before we let the shoulders set, let's do a nice anatomically neutral way. So lift up to clear the collarbone away from the ribs. Draw the shoulder blades back, pulling the arm bone back, and then just soften down. Notice my hands slid to mid-thigh. That just keeps my shoulders in line with my hips as opposed to reaching forward to the knees. It might pull the whole torso forward. And then let's bring first finger and thumb together, palms down on the thighs. Hug the bottom ribs in gently, sitting a little bit more upright through the spine, but also in tune to the solar plexus energy at the bottom of the ribs. This is your power. This is your fire. This is your authentic self-expression. And honestly, we might ignore it altogether or have a really hard time allowing ourselves to authentically express who we are because of a lot of things. My big thing is fear of rejection, fear of not being liked. So I might not be my authentic self just to try to be more broadly accepted and liked. The truth of the matter is if we were all just our authentic selves, we would be more likable. Or if the people that don't like us in that self-expression then don't need to be in our lives. So today's theme is also really recognizing where we are resisting our authentic expression, and that's from denying our emotions and our feelings. And we push them away, we staunch them down, and then pretend to be something else. And if we just allowed ourselves to feel what we feel and express the emotions that come up, then we are more in tune to who we are authentically. And when we share that, we just have more ease in our life. When we don't share that, we create more discourse, it creates more anxiety, it creates more suffering, it creates more struggle in relationships because people are trying to figure out, like, what the hell is actually happening? What is the truth here? So if we just could all open up to that, there'd be a better ease in all of our relationships with each other and the world. So as we sit, either close the eyes to see your root into the earth or just feel your energy drop down into the ground. And then widen the bottom ribs. Start to feel the accordion rhythm of broad on the inhale and narrow on the exhale. And use the little muscles between the ribs and your core to manipulate that piece of your body. If you give lungs more space, they will take it and they'll take it in with more breath. And they'll take that space up with more breath. So you don't have to force your belly out. You don't have to force anything in the lower abdomen to happen. All you have to do is create space in the ribs for the lungs and the diaphragm to enjoy the deeper breath. And so you can pause here and do that for a minute, 1 to 3 minutes. Just accordion breath, letting it bring you into the moment and starting to get aware of what your body feels like today. All right, so now that you've used the breath to get more present and to feel, what did the body offer you? Were there places of discomfort, dis-ease in any way, heat, vibration, tingling, numbness, any sort of physical sensation? Did it show up as like a indication for needing your attention? We call them little red flags. So your body wave a little red flag at you anywhere. And there might be many areas. I want you to bring your attention and awareness to the most important one for you. And the most important one might be the one that's like the least intense. Like numb is not very intense feeling, but it's important. It might be the most important one. Or maybe it's like a vibrating and throbbing place of inflammation. Choose the most important one, and then see yourself draw a box around it in your mind, in your body. See that box light up. Compartmentalize that sensation you're having to understand that it's just one piece of you. It's not all of you. It's just one piece today. Maybe it's been one piece for a very long time. And then take a few minutes feeding that box with your breath and any visual representation of sitting with it. Remember that Cancer season is not a time to fix anything. Just remembering I didn't give you any information on Cancer quite yet. This is our time to slow down, tune in, and feel. It brings us home to ourselves. It's the nurturer, mother of the zodiac. It's a time of self-reflection and pausing. And when we give ourselves permission to feel, then we heighten our intuition, which is the first step to manifesting anything we want. But again, this Cancer season is not about doing, it's about being and feeling. And in a way that we do just to sit in it, sit with it, not even to really understand it, only to experience it. We don't want to focus on any mental aspect of it. We want to focus on the physical body sensation of it. So we're not looking to fix it. Okay? So hit pause and feed that compartment of your sensation with breath and any visual representation of being there with it. White light, holding it, whatever helps you, just be with it. Do that for about 3 minutes. Okay. Back into it. This feels really weird to keep recording and not do, but it's working. So let's get into a little bit of pranayama. We're going to do a very, very simple exercise of just counting the breath. Let's take a reverse cross of our legs so that we can keep ourselves a little bit more balanced. Fidget again to find the most comfortable with this setup. And then you choose what you want to do with your hands. Palm down again is grounding. Palm up is more receiving. Palm in palm can be really nice with the thumbs connected in the center, whatever feels good to you. And all we're going to do is count the breath in consecutive numbers 1 to 8, and then restart 1 to 8. So it's just you counting up and then starting again. 1 to 8, start again, 1 to 8. And so we're not going up and down, just up. And you're just counting the inhale as 1 and the exhale as 2. And so you just, each piece of the breath is going to be one number consecutively. If you'd like to, you can add in a pause at the height of the inhalation and the depth of the exhalation. You can do just one of those if you wanted. So there might be more than just an inhale and exhale. You can have 2 parts to this exercise, 3 parts with 1 hold, or 4 parts with both holds. Also, before we start, if you are familiar and comfortable with the bandhas, the root lock, uddiyana, the upward lock, and then the jalandhara, the throat lock, you can do those. Anytime that you do pranayama, when you add the bandhas in, you contain the energy within you, and it just fuels more of your energetic pathways that are everywhere in the body. There's thousands and thousands of them. So the locks kind of contain it. But if that's not something that's comfortable for you, it might be deterrent from the benefits of receiving this energetic, settling, calming, simple pranayama. Okay? So I'll just do one full kind of cycle so you see what it's like. Nice, impeccable seat. A little bit of a softening into it. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Messed up because I added in the pauses. You can do 1 to 4. And start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So pause and do that for 3 minutes. great. From that, let's take the hands palm over palm on the heart. And in this expression of dedicating or setting our intention for these next poses in our yin sequence, decide how to best nurture yourself with an intention around the idea of bringing yourself home, not going backward into the past and ruminating over any conversation or experience, and not projecting forward into the future with any sort of dream, aspiration, desire, or worry. Be really present in the body, in the breath, in the mind, coming together as we sit in these shapes. So form an intention that best suits you with that idea. Right. We're going to let that release. Come off your prop. We're going to get into our first seated pose with Janu Shirshasana. This is actually one of my favorite ones. I'm going to face my chair. I'm going to use the chair as one of my props to support the fold. And I'm also going to stay on a little bit of lift. So a folded blanket or again, a meditation cushion. We're going to take the right leg straight and then the left knee out and back as much as it wants to go, even if it takes the torso open to the left of you. So you can create a little bit of a twist toward the right leg again. You can also keep your hips square to your right foot as well, if you prefer. If the left hip doesn't like it or the left knee doesn't like being out, let it come forward. Give an inward spiral to both thighs. Inner thigh down, outer thigh up, so that the pelvic floor widens, your sit bones anchored, and that again neutral, anterior, forward fold, or forward tilt. Give yourself a moment to sit upright in a good way. Maybe you push your hands on the floor, flex your right foot a little bit, toe your right quad, but then let your right leg relax. Either anchoring the hands to sit really upright, depending on how tight you are. Remember, we want to go to that first place of resistance or sensation. So when we come forward, you only go as far as you feel your right hamstring pull back. So I'm just going to bring my forearms up to the chair, letting my muscles. This is actually great because I rolled my right ankle a couple times recently, and so letting go of my ankle in yin hasn't felt great. So it's propped up on the leg. If you have a similar sensation anywhere on your body, you can stay either a little bit more active or use a prop to let go without going too far. And then with your head, you can either just let it drop or maybe bring elbows to any surface. Again, it can be two blocks with a bolster on top, or again, this chair, and then palms together, thumbs at the third eye. Make sure that you're supporting your head. It's not in an over-arched chin away from the neck position. Chin into the throat, into the neck, to then support the head so that you feel a neutral cervical spine, or let the head fall forward. So this is our first pose, Janu Shirshasana, which should give us a little bit of sensation in the right hamstring and a little bit of sensation lower left back. So pause, set your timer, 3 minutes. And then we're going to come to the other side. So left leg goes straight, right foot comes in, right knee out. Side, the support needs a little shift, and again, inward spiral both sides. Widen the right knee out and back as much as your hip and knee like to go, and then readjust your props. If your right knee is really open, you're twisting to face your left leg, left foot, and you're coming forward. Again, to that first place of resistance, 60 to 70% from there, using your breath, sitting in the sensation. noticing and being aware of what's happening through thought, feeling, and any emotion. And again, pause and set your timer. 3 minutes. Okay. Second pose is now going to be, you want me to chair, butterfly or cobbler's pose, or Konasana, if you want to think of it that way. I'm still sitting on my prop, still rolling the pelvis forward. We're going to bring the feet at a comfortable place in relationship to the hips. They don't have to be close. They don't have to be really far. Something that feels really good. Lean to one side, inward spiral, both legs. And then you might feel a little bit of movement through the spine, just to, again, feel more deeply. And then here is where we could use this chair again. Just see how this works. Not great. So we can do the same thing as we did in Janu with folding. You can embrace yourself with straight arms and just kind of lock it out and lean in. You might be able to come all the way down and just let the spine round and fall, and then your head can be, again, elbows, thumbs, blocks. This is not very supportive bolster. It's my massage leg support, but you can also have a bolster like this and keep your natural curve of the neck and fold into it. It's squishy, so it's sagging, but you can also lean in with your forehead. So I'll show you the side view here. Pelvis neutral tilt. Feet a good place from the hips. You can always support the knees if you need, and then leaning in. Arms can be anywhere. Grounded or not, open or closed. Contour pose. So we're getting a little bit more inner leg, and again, lower back. So set a timer, pause, and do 5 minutes in cobblers. Our third pose, Upavishta Konasana, is a similar shape. We're going to just open the legs into a V. So all the same things. Pelvis a little bit tilted forward. Use a prop so that you're not scooped under. You can flex the feet energized first. You can take that inward spiral, manipulating both inner thighs. And then this might be already feeling enough sensation, but you can also fold. You want to be able to relax the legs. You can either embrace or you can brace the spine upright by just anchoring your fingertips outside the hips, softening the shoulders, softening the elbows, and just sitting upright. Or again, if you want more sensation to meet that 60 to 70%, you can start to come forward. And again, you can be on straight arms, you can be on elbows, you can bring the chair in front of you, you can have 2 blocks and a bolster and be right here. So you're deciding where that feels best. And then pause and set a timer for 3 minutes. Great. Coming out of that, we're going to take a side stretch. So you're going to bring your right hand down, and if you have props in front of you here, a bolster or a block, I'm actually going to take this here. Take my bolster, get a block inside the right leg. I'm just going to slide my right arm down to where I feel a little stretch in the left. I'm going to anchor my left hand inside the thigh and pin my left shoulder back. You can take your right hand up and just embrace your head as you lean in. You can stay right here. Again, feeling the first place of resistance, and it's going to be mostly looking to feel on this left side of the waistline. You can also bring the left arm up and then behind your head. You have both hands behind your head. I know that for me, this hand behind the head is going to go numb. So I like to just embrace, again, brace the left leg and pin the left shoulder back. And as support. So pause, 3 minutes on that side. As we move to the other side, set your prop onto the left, slide your left elbow down. Right hand can push down into the inner groin and then pull the right shoulder back. Left hand can support the head. Whatever variation do you like, finding that good tension in the right side of the waistline. Your legs might need to be active, or if they can just soften, do that. And breathe. Take another pause and do 3 minutes on that side. And again, let your mind open up to what you feel, and maybe check back into that box you drew earlier, and if any of the shapes we were in or this one now is accessing something there. Okay, moving on to our next pose. We're going to very slowly come out of this leg variation because it's intense and we've been here a little bit. So grab the insides of your knees, wiggle a little bit, and just give a little lift so the heels come like an inch closer together. And then again, meet hands inside the knees, lean back, bending the knees, feet to the floor. Just like on the chair there. Hands back, take the prop out from underneath you, and just let the legs windshield wiper side to side. Okay, we're going to come onto the back. You don't need the chair anymore. We will need a block. I'm going to use my meditation cushion. But come on to the back. Bring your shoulder blades. Let's see. Okay, we're good here. So shoulder blades flat underneath the back. Hug your belly and feet on the floor. Roll the pelvis forward. Lift the hips and take a block or a little bit of support underneath the pelvis. Depending on what's underneath there, it might touch the lower back, but make sure it's supporting the sacrum horizontal to the floor. Or if anything, tilted more forward. Don't let the prop scoop you under. And then any position for your arms, I'm going to go palm down on the torso and just really want to feel more connected to my physical body on theme here. And then let your legs extend straight. If extending the legs straight hurts the lower back, maybe a smaller prop would be beneficial. Or you can also keep your legs more actively inward spiral. So heels stay down, but the toes flex straight up to the sky, which spins the thighs inward. That should help the lower back. So find the best comfort. Again, mild sensation, front of the pelvis through the spine. And just getting a nice passive opening in the front of the body. And a gentle back bend. Shoulder blades tucked in. Arm bone pinned to the ground. And then relax. And then hit your pause and take a 5-minute timer here. But think of this fluid movement of breath through the front of your body, opening and expanding the emotional center of the gut, of the belly. Be really present to what shows up here. From here, we're going to, so with that, take the right knee in and give it a little hug toward the armpit and maybe a side-to-side movement or circle. And then notice when you hug the right knee in, you create a little bit more sensation on the left side. Release the right leg straight, switch sides, grab the left knee, hug it toward the armpit. Do a side-to-side or circle movement. Noticing how pulling in the left knee creates more stress in the front of the right hip. Yin is about creating healthy stress in the body to soften, to become aware. Right, bring both feet in, hug the belly, lift off the prop, come all the way down to the ground, and just receive neutral spine and the earth supporting you. And then we'll take our second to last pose here in supine twist. So bring your right leg over your left, scoot your hips to the right, lower your knees to the left. And you can take the block or your bolster, or I just took this cushion and propping up my right calf so that it has something to rest on as opposed to just your right toes hitting the floor and your knees hovering in space. Feel like we shifted the hips to the right first so that your left hip now is in line with the midline of your head. And so it should be more comfortable for your low back. And then feel like you can engage deeper through the twist as you look to the right and extend your right arm anywhere out from the torso. And then you drop in, hit pause, 3 minutes here on this side. So come out, hug your belly in, back to center, hips to center, left leg over right, take your prop over to the other side, scoot your hips left, to roll the legs right, right hand can hold in place. Gaze shifts left, left arm extends out of the torso anywhere. Hit the pause and a timer for 3 minutes this side. And then hug into the belly to return back to center, legs unwrap, hips to center. And then we're going to come into our last pose, which is going to be legs up on a chair, or blocks creating Stonehenge on their highest setting with the bolster on top. Right, so you make a little shelf for your legs. The chair is just kind of easier. Unless you're short like me, they might. I'm a little short. That's okay, actually. You want the crook of your knee supported. So see how like my shin isn't really laying heavy because it's too high for me. I'm going to take my prop underneath my sacrum so that it's lifted. Now my shin is heavy. And I'm also creating a little bit more of a back bend. So I'm going to call that good. So make sure your shins are heavy on the surface you're using. You can inward spiral, lift your leg and spin your toes in and then come back down. Especially if your feet are really wide, if the toes are really wide. So crook of the knee is supported on the edge of your prop. Shins are level and heavy on the prop. Might be on a lift, feeding the heart or not. Arms anywhere you feel comfortable. And then just let go. Try to really let the leg bone float in socket. How much feeling, sensation, describe to yourself that junction in your body. The pelvis is the center of us, where everything connects one way or another, and is also energetically congested. It's relationships, it's passions, it's desires, it's addictions, it's emotions, it's water, it's creation, it's expression. It's just all kind of in there. So soften into that. Try to feel how much resistance is in this area. Try to feel how much holding and gripping and armor might be there, how much guarding. Feed it with breath, with awareness, with sitting in it. And then hit pause and a timer for 10 minutes for our last shape today. Right. To come out of this, start slowly. You hopefully stay about 10 minutes. And wiggle your fingers and toes. Slide one knee in, give it a squeeze. Switch. Take both in. Roll to your side, get the prop out of the way. Stay on your side for a moment. Let your arm rest under your head. Let your head rest on your arm. Just feel a moment on your side in fetal position, how nice it is to be there. Rolled up in a ball. The first home you had was in your mother's womb. With this shape, remember the nurturing you got there. And gently start to press up to sit. Pop up the hips. Sit in neutral seat, neutral pelvis. Up, back, and down through the shoulders. Hugged in around the core. We're going to take hand on the heart, hand on the lower belly. And just feel the rhythm of your breath again. Feel the accordion of your ribs helping to let the diaphragm express itself lower into the belly, allowing the lungs to fill to a bigger capacity. And take inventory of how that went for you. How challenging is it to sit and feel? How challenging is it for you to be accountable to set pause and a timer for yourself as opposed to you doing it? Were you able to do that for yourself? Or did you just kind of fudge it? Oh, goodness. I understand. It's not easy to sit in what we feel and to feel what we feel. We judge it. We have judgments from other people that make us judge ourselves. They come from childhood experiences or beliefs given to us and things that we were taught along the way. But when we authentically feel what we feel, we can release ourselves from those things. They're only binds that keep us in limitations. So let Cancer season bring you into your feelings without any need to fix them. Only to feel them. You don't even have to contemplate them or make sense of them. Only feel them. And let your feelings help you authenticate your life. Draw your bottom hand over your top. This will let you share your life, your love, and also receive. Wish the best for you. It's not an easy thing to be in this existence on this living planet. But when we tune into the natural ways in which we should engage, things are a little less rocky. And you're held in that universal flow. And then you're guided and gifted authenticity. Wish you all the best. Love you much. Namaste. See you soon.